Alright, welcome to my religious life video blog. It's the third Sunday. That's right, the third Sunday during Lent. Because, it's be nice to people, so who knows, it can be civilized. But anyways, let's try this on for size. There's gonna be we inside John John chapter 4 verses 5 through 42. And how can I read long? How can I read all this? Because, oh God, I don't know. Because here's the thing, Mary, Mary, Deacon Mary just read the gospel long after this, after released, play a sequence hymn song and it isn't in my bag, or should we say my folder? Because I want to show you something. Because Mary, Deacon Mary read this the third Sunday. After this second verse, after this second verse, or about this one, yeah, just half of it. So you just have to trust me about that. And I will show you something that you ought to know by now, because Deacon Mary just read this. Oh boy, it's gonna be verses 5 through 42 of John chapter 4. Look at this. I cannot believe my eyes and ears. Look at this. It has long. It has I guess the long page, whatever it is. So I was just, you know what I should do? I should read it short. Trust me, I will read it short. If you know what I'm saying, if you, I'm not, because I'm not going to read that long chapter of long verses of John chapter 4 verses 5 through 42, and I have no clue. So let's keep it short, shall we? Let's keep it short. Sorry, Mary. I think Mary had to say this, but I will read it. Whatever it is. Anyways, let's begin with verse 5. So he came to a Samaritan city called Sychar, near the plot of the ground that Jacob had given to his son Joseph. And Jacob's well was there. And Jesus, tired out by his journey, was sitting by the well. It was about noon. A Samaritan woman came to draw water, and Jesus said to her, "Give me a drink." His disciples had gone to the city to buy food. The Samaritan woman said to him, "How is it that you, a Jew, ask a, a drink of me, a woman of Samaritan?" The Jews do not in common, uh, share things in common with Samaritans. Jesus answered her, "If you knew the gift of God, and who is it that is saying to you, 'Give me a drink,' you would have asking him, and he would have given you living water." Uh, the woman said to him, "Sir, you have no bucket, and the well is deep. Where do you get that living water? Are you greater than our ancestor Jacob, who gave us the well, and with his son and his flock drank it, drank from it?" Jesus said to her, Everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again. But those who drink of the water that I will give them never will never be thirsty. The water that I give will become in them in a spring of water gushing up to eternal life. The woman said to him, Sir, give me this water so that I may never be thirsty or have to keep coming here to draw water. Jesus said to her, Go, call your husband and come back. The woman answered him, I have no husband. Jesus said to her, You are right in saying, I have no husband. For you have had 5 husbands, and the one you have now is not your husband. What you have said is true. The woman said to him, Sir, I see that you are a prophet. Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain, but you say that the place where people must worship in Jerusalem? Yes. Verse Jesus said to her, Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when you worship the Father, neither on this mountain nor Jerusalem. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know. No. For salvation is from the Jews. But the hour is coming and is now here when the true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. The Father seeks such as these to worship Him. Worship, you guessed it. No, worship. Him must worship in spirit and truth. The woman said to him, I know that Messiah is coming, who is called the Christ. When he comes, he will proclaim all these things to us. Jesus said to her, I am he, the one who is speaking to you. The one who is speaking to you. So that's it. I'll leave it short to just trust me about that. I'm sorry the way it is. I'm not going to read it all, but who knows. But anyways, here's the subject because oh Lord. Anyways, give some advice. Anyways, Bishop Anna Duggins from All Saints at 93rd and Blondo Street. You know, when I usually did work, I do hashtag Omaha Choirs only on, and let's see. Oh yes, hashtag Omaha Choirs on Facebook Live. Well, I'm supposed to do OSC, so you trust me about that. So she is, she, she's do, she told a sermon this morning at my church. And that's why she's filling in for Father John. No, not Father John. Oh yes, Father Jason. And he said about springs of water and all that. So this is what happens that the story that Bishop and Duncan told told that the sermon was the woman of the well about springs of water because it has as much direct discussion of this human labor as any story in John, but one has drawn to to taste it all. And many Christians are familiar with the woman's inability to move from the everyday work of drawing water to Jesus' pronouncements and on the life-giving power of His Word. And the motive, here it is, this motive permeates the gospel. And that's why the crown repeatedly shows an ability to transcend every single day. And it concerns and addresses the spiritual aspects of life. They do not see how Jesus can offer them His body as bread. And they think they know where He is from, you know who, Nazareth. But they fail to see where He is really from heaven. And they are equally ignorant as where as to where he is going. Now, here's the verse you don't want to know about this one. All of this is certainly relevant for thinking about work and whatever. We think of the intrinsic good of a steady water supply, and every drink we take confirms that it is indeedly a good thing. But this story surely tells us that the physical water alone cannot confer on us eternal life. But in addition to this, is easier as for modern Westerners to miss the drudgery of the woman's daily water chores and ascribing her to reluctance to fetch the water, to sheer laziness. What about the curse? I'll tell you what the curse is. The curse is on you, on this labor. And it bites hard. So she can be forgiven. And here's why. Everybody knows that to be forgiven this for wanting a more efficient delivery system. So you can have it's not special delivery for this package with medicine, and I don't believe that if my dad wants medicine inside this package or inside this mailbox, well, I get it at home. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about this one, delivery system. If we should not conclude this. However, like I said, Jesus comes to us, comes to free us from work in grimy material world, so that we could bathe in the sublime waters of spiritual serenity. First comes first. You guessed it. First comes first. It always this. In John chapter 1 says this, because the nature of Christ's work is this. The Messiah made the water in the well, and He made made it good. And if he uses that water to illustrate the dynamics of the Spirit's work in the hearts of would-be worshipers, and that could be, you guessed it, it could be seen and an ennoblement of the water rather than a downgrade of it. And the fact of the matter is that we reckon the first with the Creator and then with the creation is no slightly on this creation, especially since one function of creation is to the point of you know who towards the Creator. And we see something similar inside this aftermath. You guessed it. The aftermath is this, where Jesus using the reaper, the reaping of this metaphor, to help the disciples to understand their mission of the world. Quote this from chapter, quote this from John chapter 4, verses 35 and 36 says, do you not say that 4 months more and then the harvest? But I tell you, look around you and see how the fields are ripening for the harvest. The reaper is already receiving wages and is gathering fruit for eternal life, so that the sower and the reaper may rejoice together. How's that? How's that? Live in a world of spring and all that stuff, so trust me about that. About this one, so who knows? Oh, boy. How much time? Oh, yes. Here's my final point about this one. So, here's my final point of this one, because in addition to proving palpable blessing of the daily bread, and you know why? Because for which we are instructed to pray, agriculture work can also so serving as a way of understanding, advancing God's kingdom, and you know why? Because they live in agriculture. They live in the culture where you use the farmers growing corn and tomatoes and vegetables and fruits and all that stuff. That's agriculture. That's how we do things. And we plant the seeds and you give them fresh water inside the soil and growing up. So it makes it work because anyone can be civilized about we understand the agriculture work as far as we're concerned. So that's all I can say. The moral story is more of this religious life video blog story is as we wrap this thing up for this third Sunday of Lent. Here's from advice from Bishop Anna Dugan from All Saints, and she says, "I want you to because this week use your spring of water, life in you, because this is the agriculture you learn about this one. So, and now you know, because everybody knows, can be civilized about springs of water and whatever happens. So that is all I can say. And I mean to tell you, if you want to read this, yeah, just read it. It could be I know it could be a short, just make it short. But it's not long, but who knows? As Deacon Mary read a long chapter of John, chapter 4, verses 5 through 42. What else can we go wrong? Sorry, Deacon Mary. It's just common sense. Oh boy. Anyways, that's all I can say. Enough is enough. Anyways, that's my religious life video blog story, and I'm sticking to it. See you next Sunday for the fourth Sunday of Lent. Trust me.